the path. She is lost in the mud and haze. Keep walking down the path, finishing our mission. Anyway, how to be, how to touch, how to understand. She's looking for what she's meant to be. Figure out how to be, how to see again. Put it back together from words and tales. Does she know which way
An apple a day keeps the doctor away.
which way is wrong? She often keeps wondering inside. Where does she come from and go? What does she want and chase for? She is lost in the mud, and which way will she go? The river is flowing, and where will she go? They all have eyes to see, ears to hear, they all look the same. They all have hands and feet, how are they different? Keep looking for the path, she is lost in the mud and haze. Keep walking down the path, where is the right way? Nothing has to say. Nothing's as it seems in this dream.
Hello everyone, my name is Archer. This is more Reverse 1999. How are you all doing today?
Are you also listening to the wind dancing on the treetops?
I love her voice. Hello Verneto, hello Cindy, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. How are you both doing? We're doing fine. Today we're gonna be playing the last film, which is Betty's Anecdote. Because I want to start grinding over the weekend, because the anecdotes has the whole thing about unlocking until I can reach the whatever's the final reward. And then I'll be doing Recoletta's story over on Monday. Just yeah, still plenty day before she's out. Also, thank you so much, Bernetto, for sending me the Utu. I will be probably doing by the end of the stream, so people end up not getting the, or I can just do now. I usually just do those things in the beginning. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna read it now and get it out of the way. Give me a second. I'm tired, Deeps. Now awake at the wrong time. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. But you know, we gotta make the best. Gotta make the best of what we have at the moment. So I'm sorry that you were awake at the wrong time, but at least I hope you can still relish this day. Okay, just give me a second. Sorry, I'm eating my breakfast while I am doing this. But this is the spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled by future CN information, I recommend you to not pay attention to anything that I'll be saying right now. I will be putting some timestamps in order for people to avoid this if they so choose to. But this is the 3.0 dev broadcast. So this is, I think, is just a transcription about the information presented on the 3.0. I'm tempted to just say screw it and go live myself. Yeah, if you're not doing anything and you might be having fun. I support you, Cindy. Chapter 11, Walking on a Long, Long Trail. Through smoke and scorched earth, across craters and trenches, what truly lays life to rest? A steel shovel that buries the fallen, or cannons that end war through war? This is not the first war, nor will be the last. Yet there are always those who carry hope, walking alone down the long, long trail. Version 3.0 Walking on a Long Long Trail is coming soon. The version PV and more event details will be released on June 19, so basically in just very few days. The title is not official. It could be from the following: A Long, Long Way by Sebastian Barry, 2005, set in World War I. There's a long, long trail, a winding, popular song from World War I. So everything is leading for us to believe it's something akin or related to World War I. The fact we're getting two main story updates in a row is crazy. This is unthinkable. Yeah, it's everything is getting pretty quickly, for sure. Starting from version 3.0, a brand new story expansion system, the Frontline Observation Room, will be available. To help everyone more intuitively grasp the direction of the 3.0 main story series, two new features, Send Table Deconstruction and Traces of War, will be implemented. These functions record key time points in the main storyline. You can manually adjust the timeline and view corresponding content on Send Table. Other events that occur concurrently with the main story will also be included. By reading through the detailed records, you will uncover even more information. This is awesome for me. Again, one of my biggest pet peeves is about like time. Sorry. Where everything is placed and which time every single story is occurring. So this is basically for people like me to understand where everything is happening. This is great. While experiencing the story and activities as usual, you can complete tasks in the observation room to earn extra generous material rewards. In version 3.0, players can obtain the seedling key, used to awaken a specific Druvis the Third Euphoria. This is so cool. I think this is the first time we get anything related to awakening in Euphoria. So probably they're like, instead of just releasing more Euphorias to characters, let grab prior Euphorias that are now weak and make them better. And to awaken a specific Druvis the Third. Oh, it's not making the okay. To awaken a specific. So is making the actual Euphoria stronger or just giving us the Euphoria for free, like you're saying? Because whenever I read it for the first time, I was like, is this gonna make the current Druvis the Third Euphoria stronger? But if it's just giving the Euphoria for free, it's nice, but still, I would rather make the actual Euphoria better. Tasks will update with each version and the rewards will progressively increase. In future, you'll be able to obtain rare material packs, exclusive side cubes, new wilderness decorations, and even 6-star character garments. I don't know, maybe a new Euphoria given for free? I don't know. Unfinished tasks can still be completed later via the Left Behind Matters system. 2. Brand new logging interface. With the launch of 3.0 main storyline, a new logging interface will be introduced featuring rich dynamic effects and enhanced user experience. We've also received your feedback about revisiting previous login screens. This feature is currently in development. Once it goes live, you'll be able to freely choose from all previous implemented login interfaces. Cool. Hmm. Sorry, still waiting. 3. New floors of Reveries in the Rain, Depths of Myth. Reveries in the Rain will introduce a new myth manifest in version 3.0, the New Age Proclaimer. At the same time, floor 410 to 450 of Depths of Myth will open for new challenges. Interesting, cool. Crafting feature optimization. After the 3.0 update, when enhancing resonance inside Euphoria or Psycubes, if you lack required materials but possess sufficient low-tiered items that can be crafted into them, the system will prompt you. You can then auto-craft the required items and proceed with the upgrade in one tap. That's great. This is very great. Yay, more reveries. I'm so happy. Wow, this is amazing. Can't believe this helped me. Hello, Aiden. I'm doing fine. We're reading the Utu for 3.0, the dev broadcast. So this is a little bit of like a spoilery things for future. It's not really big spoilers about the story, but still, if you guys want to avoid anything, then it might be better. How's it going? Currently playing Reveries. Compared to 200 meters, the later stages feel easier. Welcome, Dan. Always glad having you with us. Just doing dailies. Can never have enough clear drops. 100%. Oh, so you feel like after the 200 meter, everything else feels easier? Cool. Interesting. V. Or 5. Okay. Yeah, 5. Clarification on permanent recruit pool for 2.6 and 2.7 characters. Due to adjustments of version numbers, characters like Recoleta and Aleph, originally planned to enter the permanent recruitment pool in version 2.9, will now do so in 3.0. This still maintains the original timing, 2 versions after their debut, only with the version number updated. The same applies to characters from 2.7 such as Histabath, Nameday, and Kiparina. Hello, Macatails, and goodbye. Oh, I appreciate you coming. Honestly, with Recoleta and Melina, 200 meters a cakewalk. Um, cool. Hello, Decaf. Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate your lurking. Oof, I heard Betty's anecdote is a gun puncher. Enjoy. Yes, a lot of people have been talking only good things about that anecdote. So I'm pretty excited to dive in. The Enjanala boss thing is very good one for that one. Yeah, I'm still stuck at Reveries, as everyone is aware. I probably gotta eventually start leveling my characters, like over leveling them all the way to like level 60 in order for me to start having chances from now on. I already used Nala on another one of those 3 fights. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, hi, I'm still stuck at Reverie 400, and I'm focused on upgrading them. At least you're very far away from us. 400 seems like such a world away. But hello, the first code. Welcome, glad to have having you here with us. I'm just about to go and do Betty's anecdote. Rich people problems. Oh my god, your wilderness. Yeah, it's my wilderness. Okay, yeah, my wilderness is like one day I gotta sit down and actually make it better. Also, by the way, Archer, whenever you are ready, I'm gonna set up my Project Sakai pools. Yes, go ahead. Give me just a second. Hmm. But hello, Precisa, welcome. Thanks for coming. Hmm. Sorry that I'm not talking too much, but I'm eating. I was so hungry. Mm, my highest level unit is Anjonala, I3 level 50, just because I use her cheesy strat
The
for the
Great
first
Monodon Matilda
patch
highly
with
recognizes
Photo
you,
Texas
and you
that
can be very proud
even
of
note
that.
about Moth. Oh, yes, you can be really proud of that. Interesting. But yeah. Yeah, actually, Anjo is not even 30.
You said it yourself.
Anjo is
This
15.
is my room.
The only ones with, yeah. Yeah, I eventually gotta retouch Nala. I gotta touch everyone and kind of fix them and make sure that they're
Your
up to par.
excellence proves my insight.
Oh my god, the Matilda thing. Yes! We got the Matilda thing is great. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I'm fed, satiated, and ready to go. But no, sorry, ready to go. Okay, heard only good things about this anecdote here. I actually even leveled Betty. Funny enough, I was like, wait, why not? So I'm gonna actually use Betty if there's any fighting on this. Hmm. Ah, thank you. I moisturize myself with box chocolate milk. But yeah, this is the first one, a cry across time. Awakening in another era. So Archer, will you poop for Aleph as soon as his summons arrive? Yes, I will. Also, talking about summoning, Verneto wants to showcase a few of his pulls because he plays another gacha game called Project Sakai. So before I actually start this, let me showcase Verneto's pulls, and then we can go back. The one that I'm in. I'm right now. I'm the stream corner. Just come in. Really, but nothing changed on the server. You should be able to stream just like you've been doing. Let me know. Let me know if you still have problems, and I try to figure out what's happening. Because Aiden was able to stream their things no problem last time. Let's see. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna see my server settings and see if I can change anything. Okay, let me do this and see if it gets better. Okay, try now. Okay, this is odd. Okay, it's so weird because it's saying that every member has ability to share video. So it's weird that you cannot. Hello, Cashew, welcome. Just trying to figure out why I can Veneto cannot share their polls this time around. Because shoulda. Um is anybody available to just come in here and try to share yours? Because again, nothing changed on the Hellfire Tavern since the last time someone came in here and shared their poll, so that's why I'm like, hey, what's going on? Why you're not being able to? Hmm. Verse and okay, okay. Uh, try now, Verneto.
Doctor, what on earth have I done wrong?
Basically, no, try now. I gave every member the ability to share. No. Just try again. If it's not happening, then yeah. Okay. No, this shouldn't especially someone like a server monitor to change your permission. Okay, try the other. Okay, let's see the main hall. Try to share it here, I guess. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. If there was someone that could come in here and I could test it out, but I don't think there's anyone available, so I think I'm just gonna have to, you know, I really don't know what the issue is. I think Aiden was the last person. Uh, what we can do is just I can just call you and you can share through like a private call. I think that's easier and we can just get it done right now. Give me a second. I'm gonna just call you. And then I'll try to figure out maybe why that's not occurring. Maybe give me a second. I'm updating Discord. Okay. But how are you all doing? Hello, Cashew. Are you a reverse player? Thank you for coming, by the way. Yeah, you should be able to do it here. It's just a private call. Yep, Danny, it's you. Sorry, Vernito. I'm gonna keep Betty's anecdote. If you can find a way to make it work, we can jump back on later. Cool, nice. Then welcome. I do stream reverse every Monday and Friday. This channel has special permissions. What channel? Yes. But yes, I cry across time, awakening in another era. Let's go. Congratulations, Betty. For me? Oh my god. I can finally stop pretending to be someone else on the big screen? Victim C. Ah, what's happening? What was that? No matter how hard she tries, Betty can never pinpoint where the chaos began. What's going on? I just finished this side story, so I'm quite curious of others' reactions and you happen to show up randomly on recommend. Nice! Thank you, God, YouTube, for recommending me to people. Yeah, I hope you enjoy. It feels like reality itself is caving in, as if someone had knocked over a dollhouse with one swift blow. Usually other content creators on YouTube at least only show playing the main storyline side events. Oh yeah, I play everything. What's going on? The world is falling apart. Raindrops rise from the ground, defying gravity, while her thoughts plummet, free-falling into the pavement of the film set. The scene flips. A woman's scream echoes in her ears, sharp and frantic, but it isn't Betty's voice. It belongs to someone else. Have I gotten too deep into my role and forgotten where the script ends and reality begins? Or was it something the camera captured? She covers her mouth and nose with her hand, as if trying to suppress her rising panic. Miss Betty, is this a good time? Reality at last interrupts Betty's stream of frantic thoughts. More pressing than fear, she needs to return to the present. Come in. A woman in black and white business suit walks in, holding a thin folder in her right arm, her face hidden under a white mask. Seeing the masked woman, Betty instinctively touches her upper lip. The mustache she had worn before was gone. The realization hits like an overwhelming sense of nakedness. Oh my, how can I talk to you? I need my fake mustache. Feeling any better after a night in your own bed? Me? Oh, I guess so. She's still alive, at least. Your body has recovered well. You should be able to begin the intake process today. Draggy! Welcome! I think I hit and run on something, so I went to check, accidentally hit and run from back, then I was rushed the full speed ahead to my school, accidentally again hit and run on something. Okay, you gotta chill with the hit and run. Police is gonna start like ringing after you. Thank you. Though she can't read her face behind the mask, the voice carries a certain kindness. She takes out a form and places it in front of Betty. Intake. There's no rush. You have plenty of time to think it over. After all, you've been through a lot. You may need time to process it. Betty takes the form and scrolls across it mechanically. 10 Pavlov's Foundation, name, gender, arcane skill. But gender? Gender is a construct. How many times has she filled out forms just like this over the years? But the oh god, sorry. But the words only pass over her lips. They never sink in, never become anything meaningful. Oh my god, the bungo scream! I didn't expect that one. Yes, the bungo scream is the only scream we need on this stream. Betty stops the reading and stares blankly at the form. Do you have any questions? Outside. Betty recalls a nightmare she had barely survived. What happened out there? This? The staff member leads Betty from the guest room and into the hallway. Here she finally gets a glimpse beyond the Foundation's sterile walls at the new era awaiting for her. Beyond the echoing footsteps and hushed voices in the hallway, a peaceful scene unfolds. Betty, don't redo it, Chapter 3. A deep blue lake stretching far across the horizon, a wide sailboat drifting towards its center. On the shore, a family sits on a pale pink picnic blanket. The children are running in and out of the shade of the trees, while their mother watches them from the edge of the grass. The outside world is safe now. Once you've recovered, you'll be free to leave the Foundation, though few choose to. The sunlight is soft, carving out crisp shadows without feeling harsh or glaring. The air beyond is fresh, a stark contrast to the chlorine-laced sterile of the hospital. It feels like the real world. But Betty frowns, staring at the idyllic scene in disbelief. There's something strange here, eerie almost. Her pupils tremble, and the illusion of peace shatters, but this disaster is one only she can see. Don't worry, she's 20. She might have mandatory schooling, but not at the SPDM for sure. She probably is gonna do the same thing as Druvies, I think, had to do. They go through like those processes and like teaching, but not on the actual like school for little kids. But if you really think about it, whenever August went to visit the Foundation, that's probably where he was sent to the SPDM. I wonder, whenever a storm hits, the Foundation HQ spawns like Minecraft, where you spawn on a random location, or is it? I think it's a fixed place. I think something happened and she was brought here. That was my guess. You're not the first to say that. The world is still beautiful. Yesterday, no different from today. So what exactly have I lost? Betty glances at the staff member beside her. Her voice calm, her masked face unmoving. Yet Betty can tell she's still wearing that same rehearsed smile. The world is mostly the same, but there are things that have changed. The The staff member takes out a pen, resting the cap against her lips as she ponders for a moment. That house has a new roof, and the trees have grown taller. That park over there, its fence used to be black, the paint was peeling off, now it's white. She points at them with the pen, speaking as if the shifts were the most natural thing in the world. Her gaze returns to Betty. If you want to understand what you've been through, you can attend the Foundation's information session once you've recovered. You'll get some answers there. We've developed a standard recovery process for survivors of the storm. It will help you move past the trauma, adjust to your new life, and if you choose, join us in assisting others. You're free to go about the facility as you please. If you like, you might want to visit the other survivor who arrived with you. Welcome to the world after the storm. The other survivor? The screams in her ears never really faded. If anything, they have grown sharper. Yes, I believe she was your colleague. Staff member flips through the folders, searching for a particular page. Her name is Jones. I think the Foundation is in fixed place. The Foundation area, they are immune from the storm at least. It's just the storm changing the world aside from certain immune places. Yes, I also believe Foundation is... Because if the Foundation could just manifest whatever, it would be much easier for the Foundation to actually rescue people from the storm. We wouldn't need the storm shelters like we needed on Vienna, which is there's so many like reserved places for people to hide in. Also, fun news, Season 3 of Reverse Patch 3.0, that means that's known, will be set on... Yeah, Draggy, I don't want to be the one breaking up to you, but actually, Veneto sent me the YouTube, and I've read it on stream just a couple of minutes ago. But thank you so much for updating us regardless. Yes, apparently it's gonna be World War One. There's gonna be a free Druvis Euphoria. More logging things than you can change. 2.6 and 2.7 characters are just gonna start popping up after 3.0. Yeah, everything. We read it. Aw, man, no problem, Draggy. I mean, I appreciate you coming in here and trying to update us. Thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, what could I do without Veneto and the perfect timing for every single blurb? Jones. Okay, why this anecdote seems so weird? I hate this place. Jones braces herself against the fake brick patterned wooden panel, with one hand pressing down her wind-blown hat with the other. Her elegant face is caked in thick, exaggerated makeup.
It's ridiculous.
It's so high up and the walls feels awful. They just slap these painted panels on and call it a day. Why should I have expected better when they call this mess on my face makeup? Perched atop the tower set, Jones makes no effort to hide her frustration. My eyes sting. This foundation is already running like a soup. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'll try to get this one take so we can wrap up. Betty keeps her head down, double checking the harness around her waist, making sure it doesn't peek into the shot. In a few moments, she will be playing the male lead, leaping off the tower right in front of Jones. You'd better get it in one take, Miss Betty. I heard you're a real professional. Yeah. The grumbled compliment leaves Betty unsure whether it's genuine or sarcastic. She returns to the safety checks, not wanting to push Jones' temper. A top Hollywood star like her could have Betty fired with the snap of a finger. When are they calling action? Her words are cut off abruptly, like someone sliced them clean through. Betty glances up in confusion, trying to see what has caught her attention. What is that? Hmm? Joan's body stiffens as she looks ahead. Something's wrong. Following the same eye line, Betty turns towards something beyond her comprehension. The sky begins to take on a kaleidoscope-like panoply of colors, the phenomenon spreading out like a flood over the horizon. Reality begins to unravel around them, leaving the towers standing out like a strange island. Until it collapses. I think this is probably the most interesting storytelling method that they employed, because the story is going everywhere. Like, I'm still finding a hard time understanding the where everything is, like, how everything was placed. Clearly, what I'm feeling is that Betty was caught first by the storm syndrome and then by the storm, but something happened on the process that she was affected by the storm syndrome and then it was rescued by the Foundation. Still, it's very confusing. She's inside. Thank you. Staff member leaves her just outside the door. The staff member leaves her just outside the door. I feel like overall they improve on conveying the story. I think you're on the right track, yeah. I appreciate it because okay, Cashew, since you're new here, let me bash on the story. So, Noir's character story was freaking boring. I remember vividly how boring it was. I was alone on the stream, barely anyone was here. I was going through and I was yawning. And I just decided not even to speak anymore and just watched it. And the problem is not the story itself, is that the story was 8 parts that could be summed up in just 3. And everything was just fluff, and it was just nothing interesting was happening. And I feel like NN Lee character story, Anecdote, was awesome. I really had fun with that one. And this is so interesting, and I feel like they are improving on their storytelling methods. Because I feel like the reverse, they probably got it, that the beginning parts of a story and the ending parts of their story are really high points, and the middle tends to be a little like slower and kind of like a little boring. So I think they're trying to employ new techniques to make things interesting, even when it shouldn't be that interesting. I mean, we are viewing the perspective of the storm survivor, plus I wonder how the fuck does Betty survive in the first place? Exactly. Because she was caught, like, my feeling is that she was caught by the storm syndrome. So, like, how lucky was she that she ended up surviving? Can you imagine that if she unconsciously ended up going to, like, a storm shelter, suffering the storm syndrome, and ended up surviving? That would be awesome. Also, I'm liking Betty. Just that little, like, whenever the woman was talking to her, and Betty was, like, wondering if she was being sarcastic or really genuine, really makes me like her. Because most other reverse characters would probably have taken her words either at face value or completely disregarded completely. But Betty was like, okay, I heard it. I don't know if she's being really truthful, but let me just speed this thing up. And that's pretty nice. I like it. Makes Betty for me very human. Even though she's not. Beyond the thick glass, a woman lies inside a capsule-like machine, her face wrapped in bandages. Several grayish-white squares monitors are angled towards the head of the device, watching over Jones. The room is silent except for the rhythmic. Yes. English is not my first language, so sometimes I have a hard time pronouncing certain words. I'm so sorry. Beeping of machines. Jones. At the sound of Betty's voice, the woman turns her head towards the window. Also, Betty's items and story from the unit menu is interesting. Yes, I will for sure read that. Usually I don't, But that's thank you for reminding me, Dragon. I'm gonna read everything on Betty's profile once I'm done with this. Betty places her hand. The only thing that I want to be able to is actually I don't think I'd be able to read her items because I don't have any bond to Betty. So I think some stuff I would not be able to read it. But everything that I can, I will. Betty places her hand against the glass, and the screams and the screams begins to fade, replacing by shallow, raspy breaths. Okay, that was the first one. Again, so intense. Crescendo. Only today and yesterday, stretching on forever. Oh, this room. I remember just like yesterday, Z during the voting against Pedro. The storm is a temporal anomaly of unknown origin. Before it arrives, the world enters a state known as the storm syndrome. A Foundation staff member sits at the speaker's table, delivering a monotonous, rigid explanation of concepts far beyond Betty's imagination. The wide-tired conference hall is filled with other people, all survivors of the storm. Raindrops will be observed rising from the ground into the sky, and then almost simultaneously, the entire area is replaced. Honestly, didn't expect Betty's stories at all. I agree that it made her seem human in a sense that she's more alive, like more solid as a character in Reverse 99 story than just existing. Oh yeah, the politics room, the part where Madame Z activate her masterful ping pong skills. Ah, yes, ping pong, ping pong. But yeah, for sure, Betty really feels alive. Betty finds herself drawn away from the lecture and onto the faces around her. Few seem as lost as she feels, as though they had known this disaster was coming, and now this lecture is merely filling in the details. And the San Pablo Foundation provides. Betty begins analyzing each person's attire, trying to piece together the lives they had once led. Cornflower blue wool suit, perfectly tailored, gold striped brown tie, gold watch on the left wrist, stockbroker, champagne dress with a white fur shawl, pearl necklace, a wealthy housewife. Betty continues. Beret, fishing vest, maybe even a red clown nose, just like the director. If only it really were the director. Again, I like how they are creating Betty. Betty basically didn't speak so far. We're just seeing her POV, her inner monologue. But her mind is very analytic. She decided not to speak more with Jones because she was feeling that Jones might be sarcastic. She is basically trying to decipher everyone's occupation by their clothes. Again, those are very interesting because it really gives Betty a very interesting and unique personality that other characters on Reverse do not possess. Themed Arcanist, but don't. Yes. This is not a good time to be alive. The streets at night feel like a jungle, the few remaining lights flickering like fireflies in the darkness. A man walks past one dimly lit alley after another. With the economy in ruins, people go to bed early, not just to save on lighting, but to sleep through their hunger. Oh, I get you, sir. Hunger. Won't matter soon, this will all be over. The metal buttons on his top hat occasionally catch stray beams of light, and the tip of his cane scrapes against the wall as he walks. He pays no mind to the homeless huddling near the alley's entrance, striding towards a dimly lit restaurant. The door is locked. Through the fogged up glass, a faint silhouette moves inside. A flickering streetlight casts an uneven glow onto the asphalt, and the shadow beneath it grows and then swallows up the last slivers of light. The restaurant's sign goes dark. Wait! The man hurries forward, reaching the door. It's me! The shadow inside hesitates. Then thick wooden boards are pulled aside, iron chains unwind, and finally, a lock is undone.
What?
Betty? The apparent man grins and removes his hat. A thick, neatly braided plate falling over his shoulder. Got any meat left? The shape beneath the man's clothes began to shift. In a moment, his silhouette transforms into that of a familiar woman. I could do for a steak if you've got any. So, Betty's ability is to just change her appearance? That's awesome! Maybe she still needs the outfit because she's dressing like a man. So maybe she can change her gender or how her physical body looks, like anatomy-wise. Because then she wouldn't need the actual outfit. Steak. What do you think this is? The Ritz? The owner turns and walks towards the kitchen, waving Betty inside. But if her power is really just changing her anatomy and physical body, it's probably one of the coolest abilities in the game. Like, okay, she still needs outfit, but technically, Bette can become anyone. Imagine Bette is landed dressed as Arcana and everyone decides to jump at her. Yes! Like, because, like, we have so many characters, and sadly, Betty's power does not probably mimics the abilities of anyone that she turns into. It's not like Mystique from X-Men, but still, she is like, it's still a very valuable ability, especially if we're talking about investigation, spy work. Bette can do a lot with that ability. All I've got is a bit of Hoover steel. Make mine with a bit of meat then. Betty would need to see Arcana, but I don't think anyone can just see Arcana. Oh, so that's how ability works. She needs to see someone and then she can turn into someone. She still, again, needs the clothing, but that's awesome. Bette beams. The fake mustache on her upper lip shifts awkwardly with her smile. She slapped a handful of bills onto the counter and spreads her arms wide. Well, she's an actor too, so her ability is basically a gift. Right? But I wonder, did she decide to become an actor because of her arcane skills? Or she always wanted to be an actor? Yeah, that's basically reverse 1999's Ditto. Okay. I want to actually scratch that. Because Ditto was only used for one thing in Pokemon. And I don't want to think Betty like that. No. I mean, sure, I landed a speaking role. It must have been thanks to that stew from last time. Meat really does make everything better. The owner doesn't turn from his task as he stirs a pot of congealing stew. Usually arcane skills tied to someone's identity, like how Marcus is an avid reader like stories so much. Okay, because the arcane skill is something inherited. It's not like you have your personality and then you develop an arcane skill to match it. It's the opposite. It's something in your blood. So I think what happens is because of your arcane skill, your identity is shaped in order to better adjust to that skill. So, in order for Marcus to probably like better her arcane skill, she actually needed to become an avid reader and stuff. So one thing just led to another. Also, she uses dynamite in battle. If the skill kits are canon, explosives in meat tomboy, Yes. Yeah, kind of gives her like a tomboyish vibe. And she can turn into a boy, so can we really define her?
That's surprising.
Is that right? The fire crackles beneath the pot, melting the hardened fats and releasing a thin but enticing aroma I can only picture. And not mentioned, she produces bubbles from her head when using ultimate. Okay, let's not go in the bubble part. I don't want this stream to become more about diggers again. We're gonna be doing the theft of the Remit Cup very soon. She grips the edge of the counter with a wide, almost childlike smile, anticipating the coming meal. The owner scrapes the pot's side to pull up a portion of stew, placing it in front of her with care. I guess after all, Bette doesn't need to be an actress. She could totally use her abilities for something else, such as a spy, like you said. I guess she just happens to like acting and it matched. Right. Because she can be anything. She could be a model, because she can turn into any gorgeous model-looking body that she wants. She can be actually anything that requires you to just show up your body. She could be OnlyFans. She could be all the hot girls or guys in one channel. The sky's the limit, really. Thud. The weight of the plate makes a satisfying sound as it falls on the counter. It's in the house. For all the scripts you memorized but never got to perform, you've earned it. If they ever promote a low rare unit, Bette is my first choice. Again, I've kept talking about Honka Styrail has the alters, which is other versions of characters. Usually those other versions are higher rarity versions. My go-to is like I always wanted, and I keep wanting, Matilda to have a 6-star version of herself, where she's much stronger. But I feel that they should. And I think someone that actually is a big preacher on that is Aiden. Aiden is a big preacher on reverse should work more with the characters that they do have instead of creating so many new ones. And that's a perfect thing that they could do. They could just bring older characters, make stronger versions of those characters instead. Could be something after the Inside 3. And or it could be a new character altogether, but still is gonna carry the same story. Because I feel like it's such a loss for you to not really use all your assets, because the characters and the stories for Reverse are too good for them to just exist on this very small, contained, like, anecdotes. Grab Bette, which is already a very fun character, and make an alter stronger version of her so you can keep using her on the story. And that goes for basically every single character on Reverse. Yeah, the appearance altering skill, motto of... Yes. I wonder if they're gonna be... I really hope. That's for sure, if I could ever ask alters in Reverse, that would be my only ask. Make alters a thing. Thanks. Yes, 100%. And Reverse probably has one of the best characters in all gaming. I'm not really just saying about gacha gaming. And for me, just such a disservice not to use a lot of them. Like, Aiden is a big fan of Jay, but Aiden is always afraid that Jay is never going to show up anymore, because after Florid, nobody spoke about Jay again. I'm a big fan of Druvis. Druvis is literally on Team Timekeeper. She is in the main storyline. Still, Druvis hasn't appeared in such a long time. Bette picks up her spoon, taking one bite after another of the hearty stew. Tomato sauce splatters on her white shirt as its warmth hits her empty stomach. Her eyes readjust, falling on a figure in the front row as she tightens her grips on her pen. If only I had finished filming my scene before the storm hit. Just 3 lines and I would have been a star. Yeah, Surface is one of my favorite characters. That's why she's on the front of my page right now. That's why she's one of my build characters. That's why I have a team built around her. I really like her. Actually, everyone on Druvi's team, I really like her. Druvis, Jessica, Lee, and Kakania are all awesome characters that all deserve more screen time. But again, I think there's very few characters on Reverse that I would say this character does not deserve as much screen time. You know, one that comes into my mind very easily, Soneto. Stop giving Soneto screen time. Make someone go with Virgin instead. Yes! No! Ah! Betty replaced the moment in her mind, recalling the lines she had rehearsed 100 times, hoping they would bring up the same feeling of pride they did before. Now, if everyone could leave their complete forms here... The staff member's voice yanks Betty out from her thoughts. So, her rehearsed lines was yes, no, and ah? One by one, the people in the hall stand, forming a quiet, orderly line to hand in their forms. The staff member at the desk sorts through them efficiently. So each time there's a storm, does the St. Pavlov Foundation take in people like us, those who are out of this era? Feels like a bedside drawer for time itself, and right now my era is what's being stored away. What about the ones who don't join? Will my era ever return? More and more people leave the hall, as a sudden sense of abandonment crashes over Betty. I can't fall behind. With that thought, she fills out her form in a rush, handing in the staff member and follows the others. Probably some comedic or dramatic scream at the end. This section in particular would have benefited from voice acting. Oh, 100%. 100%. One of the things that I find more sad about is sometimes anecdotes are awesome pieces of storytelling, but because they are not voice acted, they still miss the beauty of like a main or event story. Standing in the hallway, Betty looks towards both ends of the corridor. It, it dawns on her that people in this era seem not to be the sort to linger. Betty watches as their back disappears into the distance, step by step, swallowed up by the corner where 2 walls meet. Her fear of falling behind might have been shared, but it gives her no sense of belonging. Betty touches her stomach, neither hungry nor full. There are no more fumes to shoot. What then is she supposed to do? You're sure to be a Hollywood star, Betty. As the lights go out and the restaurant door is locked again, the owner turns and reassures her. You're going to wake up every day to a champagne tower. Guess I should go see Jones because... I never had a champagne tower to begin with. It is so cool. Like, this whole thing about Betty is interesting. She doesn't want to fall behind. She wants to reach her potential. She wants all the glitz and glamour. She never got it. She still wants it. It must feel very disheartening whenever you yearn for something so hard and yet life keeps taking it away from you or not giving you the chances you deserve. goddess of the silver screen, the follies of time, emotion, and money. Jones hasn't moved from the capsule-like bed, her face still hidden under layers of bandages. Right now, she is more suited to play a mummy than a princess. Betty thought, catches the thought before letting it hit her. A thin white sheet covers Jones' frail frame, the folds rising and falling like mountain ridges between her body and the bed. As Betty enters and approaches, the once princess opens her eyes. It's you. Fearful leading lady, it's you. On screen, she's stunning and novelly. Even lying on thick, soft pillows, her wavy short hair remains smooth and neat. Her dark brows furrow slightly as she gazes tearfully at her lover. I swore I would never see you again. And this is her. It's basically Betty's mind of like, this was this beautiful leading lady, and this is her. Just, like a skeleton, just something that she used to be. That she's no longer that. It's relatable to not wanting to fall behind, especially in this extreme setting of the world, literally physically changing so fast due to the storm, and she has to keep up, 100%. And also, I love how she was mentioning, this people, the people from this era are very fast paced, which I do feel is right now. Like I can imagine someone from an older era wanting to keep up. Everything moves so fast. Everybody's jumping from point A to point B. Everybody's thinking this, is thinking that. Everybody needs to keep adapting themselves because the world keeps advancing faster than we can keep up most times. Whenever like we're talking about jobs, people they need to be versatile. They need to do everything and anything under the sun to just keep up with the competition. And there's always something. There's always someone newer, younger, more prepared, waiting to knock you over if you falter. Yes, I can take a look. Uh, no. Yes, that is how my setting is set up, Veneto. But the thing is, still, you were not able to share your screen on a private call. And I think that's the issue. You should be able to stream your screen if you were just talking to each other privately. But now she clings to life in this strange glass coffin. You saved me. Otherwise, I would have broken my neck long ago. Betty freezes in place. She has no memory of what happened after the fall. Come closer. Her voice, devoid of vitality, drifts out like a spirit and dissolves into the air, leaving Betty to guess at the words from her weathered lips. She moves closer until she reaches the glass barrier, remarking that she has never been this near to Jones before. What about the others? Their radiance has faded from her eyes. They are two glass beads that look around and seem to find some refuge when they meet Betty's own. The others? She means the film crew, backing the unfinished past that Betty and Jones left behind in 1930. Betty opens her mouth, looking at Jones' frail state. She can't bear to part with the obvious truth that hangs on her lips. A lie slip out instead. They're outside. Outside the foundation. Outside the era. Don't worry about them. Bette stammers out in fear that Jones will press further. Outside? Where? Doing what? But Jones only nods before asking her next question. What about the camera? Her eyes search the room weakly. I had the camera with me. Betty noticed the red veins cascading over the whites of Jones' eyes. Where is it? You joined the call. Oh, you're sharing. Okay, so it's working. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna finish this, Veneto. I really don't wanna like stop in the middle. So if you wanna stay by the like almost the end of the anecdote, we can try it again, if it's okay with you. Jones falls into a seizure. Betty isn't even sure how their conversation ended. Maybe someone else had stopped it. At some point, a nurse rushes in with a syringe in her hand. Cooler, real quick, a clear liquid flows through the milky white tube into Jones' body. Initiate emergency measures. Clear the room. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, Veneto. Betty trembles, unwilling to recall what had just happened in that ward. Jones had been like a thread-thin wire strung around her own neck, and Betty was holding the other end. Felt like if I moved my finger, Jones would fall away right before my eyes. A fragile safety line. Safety line, a term among stunt actors for the harness that ensures their survival. Looks like the storm really did a number on her. A hand lands on Betty's shoulder from behind. She turns to see the nurse who had just attended to Jones greeting her. And you lied to her. Betty uh, shoots a questioning stare at the nurse, who tilts her chin towards the storage room. Let's talk. The window is wide open in the otherwise cramped and narrow room, but outside there's nothing to see. Just the face of another wall, pockmarked with bumps and ridges so close to one could almost reach out and touch it. The nurse introduces herself as Laura as she stands by the window, leaning outside with a cigarette in hand. You're not even her little sidekick, are you? Betty reveals the details of their story, and Laura turns back, exhaling a puff of smoke like a dragon fire into Breath's face. Hey, what the hell? She waves her hand in disgust to disperse the smoke. Laura only laughs. Go on, wave faster. This thing's sensitive as hell. If it detected me smoking, we would spray and drench us both. You shouldn't be smoking here in the first place. Yeah, so what? The world's gone insane. You really think rules matter anymore? Laura stubs out the cigarette out of the window frame, already covered in blackened marks. You're just not used to it yet. Betty doesn't respond, brushing off the smoke clinging to her clothes.
So?
You're from 1930, right? Laura studies Betty with a cocked head and a breezy, if unfriendly, smile. So, what's your arcane skill? I can alter my physique and appearance temporarily. It's useful for my line of work. Though I can never get my face to be perfectly identical to someone else. So, close-up aren't really a thing for me.
Oh.
Oh, that's all? Not all of it, no. If I shift into a stronger form, my strength increases with it too. Maybe that's not the Flesh's arcane skill, but it's been good enough for me. Oh, nice! So she can at least, even though she cannot absorb like arcane abilities, she can if she like turns into like a muscular guy, she is really muscular. It's not like a fake. Maybe she wants some romantic splinker scene. I could see that in one of the Noir movies, for sure. Again, someone should tie in Noir and Betty. Laura shakes her head, thoroughly unimpressed. You can make muscles on command and change your face, but not by much. Seems like all you are is a bad actor with a fake mustache. So what else have you got? What? Again, I will say the same thing. What? I played this game and I really find her ability quite remarkable.
For example,
You know, something interesting, maybe a collectible, like Joan's camera.
here is the case.
I know a buyer. He collects interesting stuff. I take a cut, of course. Doesn't have to be expensive. Any old thing can sell for a good price. I once sold a broken copper pendant. It looked like junk, but it had a picture of the original owner's daughter inside. Someone paid a fortune for it just because of that sentimentality. Patty stares at the nurse in shock. Is that all you dragged me in here for? You want Joan's camera?
Listen.
Collectors are crazy about stuff like that. You get to name the price on stuff like that. I'm just saying, if you want some cash, reach out. Oh, and here's the process for reclaiming lost items. Laura pats Betty's shoulder as she leaves. Ironically, that arcane skill of hers is the direct opposite of her battle kit. She's mostly a defensive buffer, including her ultimate, but in lore, she should copy allies' buffs. That's one thing that I do, that sometimes it upsets me with Reverse's battle system. It would be much more interesting if they would really lean on characters' actual arcane skills. But the game tries to do like an interpretation, or try to do an adaptation of those abilities. And I really feel like they could really make something better by just trying to, hey, lore-wise, this is what the character do. So let's try to, in-game, try to adapt most of those things into some level of interpretation. Because that for me would make Betty even cooler. Not just Betty, other characters like Matilda. Matilda's powers are all about divination. She's not really focused on battle, if you think about story-wise. All her skills are battle-related, including her ultimate. And they could for sure try to adapt in a better way. I think the game would have way more buffers and support characters, if that would be a thing. But I think that's probably the mistake, the problem. They would feel like the game would be missing a lot of DPS characters if a lot of it was just adapted directly. But I don't know. I think they could just be a little more creative, especially when it comes to just the 5 stars and 4 stars and 3 stars and so on and so forth. They are a little more creative when it comes to the 6 stars. The world she longs for. Hope lies on display within a glass case. Again, I just wanna finish the anecdote, Veneto, and then I can jump in. Okay? But thank you that you're ready. I appreciate it. Storm. The memories of that day keep looping in her mind. She desperately wants to make sense of it, but her thoughts are blocked, like a fly slamming up on a window over and over again. Betty sits up, lifts her pillow to the foot of the bed, then dives into it, burying her face entirely within the plush. Oh no, yeah, because whenever I like start it, I do enjoy like to finish it all before like moving to something else. So if you don't mind, I want to get the actual anecdote done. It's already part 4, so I'm not that far from it. Probably another hour and I should be okay. Ha! She flips onto her back, gasping for air. I can't sleep. What is this? I feel like I did the night before my first audition. Even then I got to sleep. What are the symptoms of insomnia again? Memory loss, muscle atrophy, poor focus. If I can't sleep, then tomorrow I might mess up on set. There's no set to mess up on. She lets her eyes drift up to the unreachable ceiling. The clock ticks away valiantly as it erodes through the past, present, and future. Until now, she never realized it. It's too quiet. No snoring nor crying, no creaky beds or shouting matches through the wall. Cheap motels have got more life than this. Betty switches on the TV in the corner of the room. Inside the glowing silver box, a cowboy gallops across the American frontier. Wearing the bravest ring and wielding the quickest six-shooter, caught in the peak of his heroic moment. I guess it doesn't matter the era, whether it's big or small, there's always a square world to escape into. He falls back flat on the bed. Voices, gunfire, and pounding of hooves, and the other sounds she can't quite place echo in her ears. So lively. The noise is familiar to her. Comforting noise brings the promise of sleep. The screen flickers erratically against the dark room, dialogue dissolving into a blur. Smooth jazz replaces the voices, with credits roll up the screen and brighten the room, but Betty's already fast asleep.
Hey!
Betty! Betty, over here! In the cluttered alley, a child's voice calls out from beside her. Tom? Here! The voice buzzes from inside, a pipe beyond the weathered wall. Did you forget how to get in? I remember. Climb onto the trash bin and slip through the old storage room's tiny window. Then head to the third screening hall. The staff door is never locked. We can sneak in there. As soon as Betty thinks it, she finds herself standing beneath the movie screen.
Shoot.
My neck hurts from craning like this. Heck, why does the usher have to sit at the back today? Betty sits cross-legged in the front row chair, tilting her head all the way back, engrossed in the movie. Up this close, the screen is slightly warped, but she isn't bothered in the least. A train speeds through the western desert. The heroine is held at gunpoint.
No.
No! Seeing the heroine in danger, Betty covers her eyes. Keep your trap shut, or the ticket guy is gonna figure out we're down here. She nods, sliding her hands over her mouth instead. Cowboy William staggers from a gunshot, red spilling out from his body. Then, miraculously, he gets back up and pulls out a pie baked rock solid at the bottom by the heroine from his vest. He knocks the villain flat with the pie and saves the heroine. The end. A happy ending. I wouldn't mind a slice of that pie. The word end flickers on the screen, but Tom isn't paying any attention. That was keen, wasn't it? A real cowboy. I wish I could be that guy. Pew pew. You're so childish. If I were a real big shot cowboy, I'd keep the entire town safe as houses. And the saloon keeper would save the best seat at the bar just for me. Tom rubs his frost-beaten feet. The motion reveals a stolen piece of black bread that just out of his coat pocket. But Cowboy William is in Creekwood Town. There won't be any danger left. You have to find another place. Obviously, I'll never go to Creekwood. That place isn't even real.
What?
Not real? But the movie is. It's just a made-up story with actors on a fake screen. There's not such a town as Creekwood and no Cowboy William. You don't really think everything in the movies is real, do you, dummy? Oh, so that's how it is. But instead of disappointment, she looks somehow even happier. Just means it's a place I really can reach.
What?
What? Don't you get it? Yeah, it's a fake world, but that means I can create my own world too. A world without unemployment, without poverty, without hunger, without cold, where everyone has enough food in their bellies and warm, soft bed at night. I'd have music playing endlessly, the summers would always be bright and sunny, and the winters cozy. It'll be a place where people can forget the pain and regrets of reality, to laugh or cry for someone else, even just for a while. A square world that protects people, a picture of beauty and hope. That's the world I want to make for me, and for everyone else too. That's neat. That's very nice of her. Like, trying to create a new world. That's what's moving her to become an actress. Sunlight pours in, and the wide curtain ripples gently with a faint breeze. Oh, that's art background is from Marcus. Art's background. Oh, whenever she was behind something was from Marcus? Interesting. Music floats out from the television, notes flowing with time over and over, second movement, third movement, twisting, looping, intertwining. She lies still on her back, trying to hold on to her dream. But it fades from her mind like sand slipping through her fingers. Oh yeah, now that you're talking about, yes. Why did I remember something for so long ago? Tom died on a winter's day, years ago. His father, laid off and unemployed, had clung onto him as he perished beside a coal stove. Bette had forgotten his face until last night. It must be really complicated. Like, again, I am someone that I'm dealing myself with financial issues, so I can only imagine how complicated it can be for a kid to go through something like that. Like unemployment, poverty, dying because you don't have anything to eat, you die because of the cold of the winter. It's just tough. Thinking back on last night's stream, Bette returns to the lost and found section. A few people are milling around in the section. The two clerks behind the counter are chatting away. Hi, I'm here to collect this camera. Bette hands over her documents to the clerk. Oh wow, you made it! At the woman's exclamation, a few warehouse staff peek out, eyeing Bette with curiosity. You know me? Of course, everyone's talking about you two. A lady with half her face soaked in blood was found dragging you with one arm and clutching a camera with her other. How is she doing? Oh, so Jones was the person that saved Bette. The surrounding employees nod in unison, vividly describing the scene. She survived. You mean that Jones saved me? She did. And that camera too. At first, we thought this thing might be some kind of awakened, but it's just an ordinary old thing. The staff have already patched the camera from the storage. They chat excitedly about Bette, Jones, and the camera, marveling at the bonds between them. Watching them, Bette pictures a white figure in her mind, smoke swirling above her head. Lara doesn't belong to any era anymore. She's just a heartless bastard who doesn't care about emotions she'll never understand. At the tail end of their conversation, the woman looks regretfully at the camera before handing it to Bette. What could be inside this thing that's worth so much trouble. Jones have the idealist drip drip. I mean, come on! Reaching over the counter, Betty takes the camera. There are still splotches of dried blood on it, but she holds it close to her chest. Outside that square box, I can protect your dreams too, Jones. You wake up and we'll finish this film together. This is the very last movie of the 1930s. That's so cool. Like, Jones was the person that saved Betty. So probably Betty fell and lost conscious, and Jones, even though he was basically dying, she was still able to save her. That's so cool. Yeah, she's from 1930. Okay, let me just go really get something to hydrate my throat. I'll be quickly back, guys. Just a second. Okay, I'm back. A perfect double. Look, her dream is nearly picture perfect. I feel like we're not gonna be getting any battles this time around on this anecdote. Unfortunate, I level her up for no reason, I guess. Joan's condition remains unstable. Most of the time, Betty just sits in the ward, rewriting the script from her memory. The real one had been lost to the storm. Thank you, thank you. Occasionally, Jones awakens for a brief moment. Betty, what time is it? Her voice has lost all trace of its former haughty, confident tone. Fragility strips everyone of their dignity. Betty pauses her writing to glance up at the clock. 2 p.m. Jones doesn't seem to respond to the answer one way or another. Betty scrutinizes her frail face, trying to figure out what she's thinking. Maybe she's wondering how long she has been out. Maybe she's wondering why Betty's there. Or maybe she isn't thinking about anything at all. On rare occasions, Jones even gains the strength to ask about the film. How far have they gotten? Scene 14. It is the latest scene Betty has rewritten from her memory. She's been waiting for Jones to recover so they can pick up where the film reel left off and finish the movie. Don't worry, her psyche is meta for mineral units with buffs. You can still level her indirectly. Neat. And yeah, I'm doing all this just because of that sweet, sweet psyche from Anecdote. But if I'm not there, what are they shooting? Betty rubs the corner of the script between her thumb and forefinger, rolling it into a tiny curl. You're shooting other scenes first. They'll do the reshoots once you're discharged. Betty glances up to avoid meeting her eyes. Jones lies back in the glass chamber without a response. Everyone misses you. Though the script supervisor is a bit peeved because the shots are getting so scattered, keeping track of the takes is a hassle. Betty. Huh? I've been lying here too long. I've radically burned a hole in the ceiling with my eyes. Could you bring me some pictures of the outside? And some photos of the crew? I miss them. But the director doesn't allow pictures on set. Betty wants desperately to find an excuse, but Joan's eyes meet her through the layers of gauze, saying nothing, waiting. You know what I can imagine Betty doing because she wants to see pictures of the crew? Betty actually transforming in every and each crew member just to take pictures and to send it to and to give it to Jones. Yes, she's doing her best. Betty closes the script. Alright, I'm sure they'll make an exception for you. The lake shimmers. Women in light dresses stroll through the grass. Men with fishing rods lie by the shore, releasing their catches back into the water. But this isn't the scenery I need. Bette hurries past them, carrying a rounded bag on her back. She finds a quiet spot and sets the bag down. This place, at least, doesn't have any strange buildings in the background. You could almost mistake it for the original filming location. After agreeing to Jones' requests, Betty devises this little trick to deceive the Foundation. Once she settles on a good angle, she pulls out her camera and rummages through the clothes, slipping on a fishing vest and a beret. The direction was always wearing something like this, but now, Betty hesitates, searching around. She realizes only now that she can be the director and takes the picture at the same time. She needs someone to press the shutter for her. A young woman sits on the grass not far away, sketching the landscape. Betty takes a deep breath and approaches. Excuse me, miss? Oui? Que voulez-vous? Yes. Do you need some help? The woman lifts her hand to shield her eyes from the sunlight and squints up at Betty. Betty stares at her lips, fully stunned as fluid, pearl-like words roll out. Words she doesn't know. She doesn't know in the slightest. Tout va bien. Are you okay? The sound reaches Betty's ears. This time more familiar, but still indescribable. She can at least tell from the woman's expression that she meant no harm. Looking around, Betty doesn't see anyone else who might help. She has no choice but to rely on a more universal language. Can you please? Betty gestures with her box camera. Est-ce que vous voulez que je prenne une photo? Sorry, my French is non-existent. I'll just say that. Do you want me to take this photo for you? Photo, yes. Bien sûr, of course. The woman gives her a small nod with a shy smile, and Betty thanks her. Thank you. Then, using her arcane skill, she transforms into an almost perfect match for the director's face and shape. She turns her face slightly towards the camera, posing as if shouting directions offset. Beforehand, she had practiced many angles in front of a mirror. This one proved the most convincing. The director's slightly upturned nose and thick, coarse eyebrows were his defining features. As long as they're visible, even he wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Ooh! Click. The woman presses the shutter, capturing a photo so realistic it could fool anyone. The great Matilda highly unrecognizes you, and you can be really not proud of that. Epitant! Amazing! Hold on just a moment. Betty rummages through her bag, pulling out another lead actor's costume. She sifts her form again, then lies down on the grass, covering her face with a magazine, pretending to be asleep. The woman presses the shutter again. This is incredible! That's incredible! Incroyable. Sorry, again, terrible French. As Bette continues changing outfits and forms, a few curious onlookers begin to gather around. In the distance, more people stop to watch. Bette doesn't want any unnecessary attention, but it comes all the same. After switching into a few more outfits, she thanks the woman profusely with awkward mercies as she packs up her clothes before hurrying back to the foundation. See, like, her skills are great. Bette could live in any era and probably thrive better than most other arcanists, really, with that skill. Because the one thing we know is that we haven't seen anyone with that similar power so far to change appearances. Holding the freshly developed photos, Bette runs to Jones' ward. Bette. Jones looks up at her with longing eyes. Bette hesitates, holding the photos inward, until finally pressing them against the glass chamber. The director said he was alright, so he took plenty of pictures. Jones' eyes lit up. She gazes at the photos with tearful wonder, seeing familiar faces she hasn't seen in so long. Everyone alive and well, moving forward with their lives. She flips through the images one by one, before finally speaking. They look wonderful. The bandages near her eyes grow dark with moisture, and her body trembles slightly. It's as if she could tell the life in those moments through the photos. She seems unwilling to look away for even a second. Seeing her reaction, Betty's tense nerves ease visibly. Thank you, Bette. The fabric of her bandages absorbed tears after tear. Jones slowly closes her eyes. Can you do me one more favor? Yeah? Her wounded friend adopts a determined expression that defies all weakness. Would you show me what my face looks like now? Bette freezes. But she looks into Jones' reddened eyes before averting her gaze again. There aren't any mirrors here. She scans the room, double-checking her spur-of-the-moment excuse. But you have a camera. You're taking pictures of other people. And I don't think you're ready to remove your bandages. What if it pulls at your wounds? But you saw me when they changed my dressing, didn't you? So use your arcane skill. Show me. I need to know how long until I can back to filming. Jones's frail fingers press against the inner glass of the chamber, pleading with Bette, who has the freedom to roam the world outside. Just let me see. Just for a minute. You know my arcane skill can make me look exactly like you. I know that. I just need a glimpse. Today I'm not really feeling up to it. Jones's trembling fingers rest against the glass, a reminder that she is trapped inside. Bette looks deep into Jones's eating face, takes a deep breath, closes her eyes, and... I hate this place. Back then, Jones has been untouchable, radiant, and dazzling. The kind of star Bette could only admire from afar. Come over here, Bette. Also, her era isn't just gone, it's basically erased. Just catalogued by the Foundation bureaucrats. Otherwise, Bette, Jones, and her fellow 30 survivors are the only ones who will remember it. NPC Doomed Yuri. Jill Steely, welcome! Thank you for coming. Yeah, I don't even think it's Yuri in turn. Like, Bette is... You just want to preserve Jones's memories. Because everything that Bette has been speaking about is just she doesn't want to fall behind. And Jonas is her kind of like her her only goal. Like, if Jones can recover, then Betty might have a chance. That's what probably Betty's inner self is telling her, that as long as Joan is okay, Betty has a chance. But Joan's not okay, and probably will never be okay. Come over here, Betty. Betty trembles in her step. By the way, welcome to the stream, Jill. My name is Archer. I play Reverse every morning, every Monday and Friday, and I play Heaven Burns Red the other days. And during the weekends, I usually play whatever I want. This weekend, I'll be playing Limbus Company. Welcome. Pleasure to meet you. Joan seems like her role model, someone she seeks guidance from. I don't know. I do feel like she has admiration for Jones, but in my mind, it just cannot stop thinking that Jones is a way that Betty's clinging to her era. Everything changed, but Jones is still there, so there's still this reminder, this leftover of what could have been. I think Jones is just Betty still clinging to the past. And what she's doing to Jones is basically the same. Jones wants to know that everything is still the same, and Betty's trying to show her that. Betty trembles in her step. She forces herself to push aside the image of Jones's scarred face, burning her memory, afraid it might color her transformation. Jones studies her closely, while Betty anxiously follows her gaze, terrified that Jones might notice some telling flaw, a hint of her scars. But instead, Jones smiles and laughs weakly. You haven't got my eyebrows right at all. Huh? Hearing her chuckle, Betty flushed red and turns away. How about this? That's better. But the nose isn't quite right either. It should be a little taller. Really? Betty pinches the bridge of her nose, making it appear more defined. Now it's too much. That looks ridiculous. From Betty's perspective, her nose now seems oddly exaggerated. She looks at it, trying to tweak it into something more natural, only to end up cross-eyed. Even Betty can help but laugh. You're making me look more vaudeville than Hollywood, Betty. That's actually painful. Like, seen from the outside. After a good laugh, Betty falls silent. She doesn't dare meet Jones's eyes again. Instead, she leans against the glass chamber, staring at the floor. Sometimes emotions spread through the air like mist, lingering between words unspoken. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Betty's reply is petulant, like a child throwing a tantrum. A faint shimmer passes over her, and she returns to her own form. You just look familiar. You remind me of someone. Oh. Jones takes a deep, hoarse breath and slowly exhales. I'm too tired now. I'll tell you some other time. Betty wipes her nose and nods affirmatively. Ugh. Then I'll head back for today. Get some rest. Betty lets her fingertips rest against the glass chamber, mirroring Jones's hand. She almost thought she could feel her warmth. Thank you. Betty shakes her head and then turns to leave wordlessly. Yeah. Yeah, people were not underestimating this anecdote whenever they say that it was like a gut punch. Probably one of the deepest ones. And it's very simple. It's not a very, like, complicated anecdote for you to do. It's just, it pictures something very interesting. And again, very humane. But also delves deep upon the people that are leftovers. People like Betty. People that are just survivors from the storm. Okay, a beautiful day. When light strikes these films, silver halide undergoes a structural change, forming silver grains. In the days that follow, Jones's mood seems to perk up. He asks Betty to read the newspaper to her, take pictures of the park, and even turns the glass chamber so she could bask in the sun. In winter, we'd set snow up in different piles, pick a few, and sprinkle sugar on them. Sometimes, they just talk like old friends. If we're lucky, we get a sweet one. If not, we might end up eating sawdust. You play games like that as a kid? Silly girl. Jim lets out a weak chuckle. Before I became famous, I was just a little country girl. Eddie feels a twinge of something unfamiliar. What's happening? Betty shakes her head. When I was little, I used to sneak into the cinema. It was crowded, but at least it was warm. I loved watching movies. They let me forget the bad things in real life for a while. It is easy to connect with it emotionally, with how humane it is, especially from such a personal viewpoint. Yes, it is. Again, that's why I really appreciate it, because I feel like Reverse goes and it does try very hard to portray humane things, but because it's trying to follow a narrative or structure, it misses some of it. But this is just a survivor story. This is nothing leading to anything in particular. It's just two people trying to cope with their reality and trying to make it the best. Betty's trying to cheer up and make every single day from Jones's life worthy, and Jones is just enjoying Betty's, but also hoping to see the world that was left behind. Some stuff even kind of give me the vibe that Jones might already kind of have ideas that everything that Betty told her is a lie. I loved watching movies. It let me forget the bad things.
I've got a person in my closet.
Oh, hello, Spartan! Thank you so much. Welcome. We are actually seeing a pretty sentimental, emotional, kind of sad story here right now. How are you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for coming again. Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I felt like they were saving my numb little heart. That's why I wanted to make movies, because I wanted to be the one of those people. Good work. Good. I just got home from work. Nice. Welcome. I hope you can. I can serve you to unwind for a bit as you relax from work. Jones watches Betty, a hint of resignation on her face. Then we need to make a movie. Now? We have a camera, don't we? Just letting it sit there is a waste. What are we filming? Jones smiles. You. Follow Betty, medium shot, upper body. At Jones' command, the insect-like base carrying the camera moves towards Betty, angling the lens at her. The device has been modified to respond to her commands. Even confined to the glass chamber, Joan can still direct the shots she wants.
Uh,
What is there to film about me? Betty looks down with a red face at the camera as it tracks her. It feels so much different than from when she had been a stunt double. The lens is capturing the real her now, and she doesn't handle it well. Better than filming me in this state. Joan shrugs. Now, don't just stand there staring at it. Do your thing. My thing? You know, something. Why not read me the newspaper? Betty nods, grasping the paper, and sits beside Jones. She begins reading, stumbling at first over simple words, but slowly she finds herself focusing on the next, not the camera, and begins to relax. That's it, a good actor forgets the camera is even there. Camera? She has indeed forgotten it, and all her nerves return as soon as she looks back at it, her face turning a new and brighter red. Don't worry, you get used to it. From then on, whenever Betty enters Jones's room, the camera soon turns to meet her. And as per Jones' request, Betty edits their clips every night. That's so cool. Ooh. Oh, she turned her room into what? The dark room for revealing pictures. In the dim red room, the sound of scissors cut through a busy silence as Betty trims another frame of the film. And this frame next. She draws a line on the back of the film with pencil, then carefully snips it out with scissors. Setting the film aside, she draws large, bold letters on a piece of paper. Apple core. Oh, what? For me? Betty has peeled an apple for Jones, only to be ruthlessly teased for her knife skills. Pharaoh's Night. A horror-style short Joan has asked Betty to shoot, where Jones wrapped head to toe in bandages, bolted upright in bed, only for the shot to reveal Betty's fake mustache stuck under her nose. The last clip is of Betty's laughing so hard the whole frame trembles, the light shifting wildly, like ink dispersing in a glass of water. This is what movies should be. Magical vessels that preserve our best moments forever. She carefully lifts the film with tweezers, sorting them into separate categories. Jones will recover and be discharged soon. I'll find a way to help her accept what happened with the storm. Betty's eyes rest over a long script on the nightstand, copied out laboriously by hand and from memory. Having used her legs as writing desk for so long, the pages have developed a slight curve. Then we'll finish the movie. She's doing so much. It's late, and the room is dark except for the intermittent light flickering of machine lights. Have you decided? Yes. The insect-like camera base sits motionless, slumped over from lack of instructions. I don't need money. I just need you to give me one thing. What? Jones parts her lips, uttering something far from pleasant. Ha! There are better substitutes for that. Suit yourself. The door shuts behind the nurse as she leaves. What is Jones doing? Is she trying to sell the camera for something? Is she trying to sell the camera at all? Is she trying to do something bad? To herself? To Betty? The questions. the empty box. A riddle whose answer is determined by its solver. Jones. Around the usual time, Betty arrives at Jones' ward, only to find a neatly wrapped gift box tied with silk ribbon sitting on her chair. Hmm? A present? Who is it from? She realizes a bit too late she shouldn't have said it so strangely. The gift is light, almost if nothing were inside. No, it's from me to you. What for? Did you forget a special occasion? Betty looks at Jones in surprise, about to open the box to see what's inside. Don't open it yet. Huh? Jones stops her just as her fingers begins to pull on the ribbon and gestures for her to sit down. This was the first gift I ever received. From my mother. Hearing that, Betty examines the box even more curiously, turning it over in her hands. What's inside? It's a beautiful box, so beautiful that I thought it could be worth a lot of money on its own. I spent a long time trying to figure out what could be inside. Cotton, stamps, banknotes, even fairy dust. I kept asking my mother for hints, but she wouldn't tell me. Why didn't you just open it up and see?
Because
Jones lets out a sigh. It was my first real Christmas gift. I was terrified that if I opened it, it'd be empty. Rather than finding out there was nothing inside, I figured it would be better to leave it as it is. Leave it as it was, so it could always be a gift. After all, the joy of receiving a present is the most important part, isn't it? If I opened it and it was empty, what would I do? It would be the same either way. A small, wavering doubt stirs inside Betty. I never actually thought about it. It's just Jones right now just did the Schrodinger's cat, but removed the cat and put a gift inside the box. And what did you end up doing? I placed it on my bedside table and held back the urge to open it. It sat there for 10 years, maybe more. Then a director discovered me as I was interviewed to be a waitress and cast me in a film. Holding the payment from that movie, I finally had the courage to face the mystery of that box. Before I opened it, I bought myself an expensive bracelet. If the box was empty, I put the bracelet inside and treated it as the first gift I ever gave myself. Jones lies in the glass chamber watching Matty. So, was there something inside? Jones seems to smile, but the movement of the bandages is so slight that Betty wonders if she's only imagining it. It doesn't matter what's in there. I had already realized by then that I couldn't live my life waiting for dreams, whether I became a star or not. Before I said anything, how would you have imagined my childhood? Betty looks at Jones' bandaged face, trying to imagine what she would have looked like as a child. But no matter how hard she tries, her mind can only picture something on a black and white screen. On it, Jones is sometimes a wealthy heiress, sometimes a poor country girl. But the real Jones isn't someone on a silver screen. She is flesh and blood, born into this world just like everyone else. Betty resists her initial thought. To imagine her as just another girl, even if she knows it's true, feels wrong. It feels like taking something away from her. It would mean she wasn't born to be the star that she became. that she didn't have any special gifts to light up the screen, and she was no different from her. Why? Why are you giving this to me? Is there something inside? Young shakes her head once more. Huh? Behind the door, Laura enters pushing a medical cart. Visiting time is over. Miss Jones needs her treatment, and I'm going to need you to leave. Go on, Betty. See you later. Betty looks down at the box with newfound anxiety. It's exquisitely wrapped, with a delicate ribbon tied to a bow on top. The knot is neat and smooth, as if no force had been applied to it in the tying. Time to go. Laura pushes Betty's shoulders gently, ushering her out of the ward. Betty examines the box from every angle as she walks towards her room, her feet shuffling and slow. She shakes it as she holds her ear against it, but even that reveals nothing. What does he mean? Is it just an empty box? Like false hope? Whispering tendrils seems to seep into the corridor shadows, filling her with a quiet sensation of fear. Maybe Jones figured it out. Could she have seen through the illusion I created for her? But Betty searches her memory of their last conversation. She had been different, but not in a way that revealed anything. So why give me this box? Should I do the same thing? Wait until I have something to give myself before I open it? People hurry past her, but Betty hasn't moved in what feels like minutes. I must be different from her, because even if this box is empty, I don't think I'd feel disappointed. Because thought crossed her mind and is met with a sudden panic that crawls up her spine. She yanks off the ribbon. If it isn't empty, a reel of the film is bound to be in the middle to prevent it from making any sound when shaken. What? The cutting and splicing technique is immediately familiar. This is her film. How? Betty removes the film. Jones has been in the glass chamber this entire time. So who'd helped her retrieve the film? Who wrapped it up like this? A suspicion races up in front of her mind. Oh, that was quick. One that drives her to turn and then runs back towards the ward. Onto the glass chamber's tubes. I was injecting some kind of medication into Jones through the glass chamber's tubes. Oh dear. You opened it. I did. So you knew? The storm? Yeah. Did she tell you? Don't glare at me like that. She asked first. But it doesn't really matter. The world outside looks just as beautiful as the pictures, and it's safe. Betty steps towards Jones's chamber. I got what I was here for. I'm leaving. Pushing the syringe empty, Laura packs up her things, grabs the motionless camera from the table by the door, and leaves the room without another word. Betty isn't quite sure yet what to make of this scene, but she hasn't given up. The camera doesn't matter. I can buy another one. I've already rewritten the script. Once you get better, even without the director and the crew, we can still finish things. Betty approaches Jones, looking up at her in the chamber, which now seems more like a glass coffin, as if pleading for a princess to awaken. You will finish it. I'm sure of that. This movie is yours now. I want to complete it. That's why I want you to have the film. But what about you?
Doctor, what on earth have I done wrong?
My days on the silver screen are over, Betty. Just look at me. I'm not a star material anymore. I'm going to be stuck here in this thing for the rest of my life. Jones says it as if it were just lines on a script. A first read through, no emotions needed. No, that's not true. Betty's voice trembles. They said your recovery is going well, and you'll be able to get out of this bed soon. And didn't you see your face your face that night? That night, I have a mole. I always had it covered up on set, but you have seen it if you were still there. The rest was perfect, right down to the eyebrows. She had tried so hard to recreate her face, but Jones is right. She never saw the mole. Her scars had covered it all up. So, you already knew. Do you remember me saying that you remind me of someone? Jones's eyes have begun to flutter, looking more and more heavy. You remind me of, well, me. Always waiting for someone else to give you what you need, not realizing that you had the power to get it for yourself. I saw your dream as you see it, on that silver rectangle, and it's on to be beautiful, but I won't be your star. You look wonderful on camera, and you look best when you're wearing your own face. Now it's your role, your movie. Finish it. Your voice fades out as if being pulled into a heavy slumber. Jones? What's going on? What's happening to you? Betty turns into horror to realize the liquid that the nurse injected has already drained completely into Jones's body. She pounds on the glass, trying to grab Jones's attention, but her friend is leaping away from her like an anchor falling into unseen depths. Jones! I asked for this, Betty. The voice is as clear as the crisp whisper, a sweet and eternal dream. I hate this place. Haven't got my eyebrows right at all. Now it's your role, your movie. Finish it. A sweet and eternal dream. What the fuck? Dude. It's really hard even to say it. It's like I can just imagine how Betty would be feeling at that moment. Trying so hard. And yet she knew all along. That's so hard. That voice line was perfect for Betty. I wonder when Jones cried after seeing pictures of her crew from the Betty, isn't because she was touched, but because she noticed they were all betting and her suspicion of everyone got already confirmed. Yeah, I think she already knew that everything was gone even before the pictures come. I think she was just moved that Betty did so much for her. Because technically, Jones and Betty were just colleagues. Work-related buddies. They were not close at all. Betty had no need for doing as much as she did for Jones. I think I would be moved if the same thing happened to me, because you never, even in that circumstance, you would never expect someone to go to the lengths that Betty was going to keep Jones's spirits alive. That was really beautiful, and somber and hard at the same time. It was beautiful because I felt like Jones was kind of giving her dream away to Betty, so like passing the torch. Like, this is already over for me, but I believe you are meant for greatness, so it is your time to go. And at the same time was sad because she couldn't see a life for herself outside of whatever she lived already. Now that her face is completely messed up, Even if she recovers, she won't be able to be a movie star like she used to. I assume Jones is already dying right now and realize how Betty clinging to her, and she thinks it's better that Betty let her go as soon right now, before Betty fully indulging herself into the illusion. I don't think she's dying. I think I do believe that she was getting better, because I don't think the hospital and the medics would lie. I just think that Jones would never be whatever she was. She would never be the movie star again with the way that she's looking. So she'd rather just stay there, end there, finish there, instead of trying to live a life with how she's looking in this new era, unknown for her. But yes, 100%, she is encouraging Betty to step forward, to be the one, especially with that line. You don't even need to use your powers. You can be a movie star with your own appearance. Betty herself can be the movie star. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to use your arcane abilities. Okay, this is the final part, guys. 8. Betty. Just like her name. Jones was buried outside the Foundation, lying alone in another era, destined to disappear with the passage of time. Since then, Betty has spent many days alone, though at least now, having joined the Foundation, she has endless tasks to distract herself. But in her free moments, Betty still finds herself staring at that hallway, looking out the same window where she first glimpsed the new era. Betty? What is it, Megan? The two colleagues stand together while observing the changing times. What were you filming? Megan eyes the new camera in Betty's hand, something she bought with her newfound salary. Nothing, just carrying it around. How long has she been trying to use up that roll of film? She could never find the right moment to open the lens. I don't think inventorying a warehouse would count as riveting cinema. If your daily work is just repetitive mechanical tasks, then yeah, it's not much fun. Megan leans back against the railing and looks up idly at the ceiling. Their moment of peace is shattered by a ripple of conversation that surges through the hallways like waves. Countdown to the storm, countdown to the storm! Oh. Megan straightens up and pats Betty. Got work to do. What do you mean? A storm countdown means that in 24 hours, a storm event will occur. We should get back too. Things are going to be rough. Megan hurriedly head back to her station. From Betty's perspective, Jones probably seemed like getting better, but we didn't know how Jones' condition actually like. But at the same time, I also agree with you. Just because I think at some point Betty said the medics, the doctors were saying that you're improving. So I don't think that she... so I do believe that she was okay. I just feel like Jones was just... I believe that if you do something your entire life and you lose one of your biggest tools in order to perform that action, that job, whatever, you might feel like everything is lost. But this new era is going to be archived like before. Inventorying era relics, checking historical records, accepting her pre-storm preparation tasks in a daze. Betty sits in the cluttered storage room, verifying numbers and items. Turkish kebab machine that uses light bulbs to cook meat. Oh, I love kebab. So it's pretty popular here in Brazil. Especially in my city, we have some kebab machines around. Delicious. Betty checks the box on the form. A super mini TV? What are they even inventing? The work is tedious and dull, but somehow Betty's hand cannot help but shake. The storm countdown has brought with it a grip on her heart. As far beyond the walls of the foundation, another upheaval is coming. Nothing will remain the same, not even Jones's grave. Next, bubble oxygen machine. Ha! Guess it's the arcanist's turn now. Crunchy, farting cookie shoes. I feel like this is wasting food. She mumbles to herself as she continues to the inventory, moving on to another shelf, trying to keep her mind steady. 10th of the Moonlight Night, premiere on February 23rd. Huh? She glances up and takes a shocked step back. The shelf is filled with reels and films. She has been avoiding the shelf since she started working here, avoiding Jones's death. 1940, 1939. Well, that means, could it be? She found herself pulled to the section holding films from the 1930s. The reels were neatly arranged. Ones that worked as a stunt double for, ones Jones starred in. She scans over the meticulously organized reels, the thought building like a flood behind a dam. But Jones will disappear soon, like a fossil buried under layers of time beyond my reach. You look wonderful on camera, and you look best when you're wearing your own face. Jones. She didn't star in her film. She didn't touch the film at all. When she buried Jones, she had buried that part of her in the same grave. What should I film? Yes! No! Ah! Memories flash through her mind. Betty eventually finds her answer. Jones, I won't leave you alone. Not in these last moments. Where is that script? She rummages through her room like a bear in search of honey, scattering items all over the floor. Where is it? After several more agonizing minutes, she finds her handwriting script wedged in the gap between her bed and the wall. I know what we'll do. She flips directly to the page she's after. Even during Jones's bedridden final days, she never stopped reading it. The page had visible creases from overuse. Betty sets up the camera, checks the film and lighting, then steps in front of the lens. Yes! No! Ah! For the first time, she isn't just rehearsing. The lines are captured, they are real. Just as they were written in the script, then Betty collapses back onto the bed. Just 3 simple lines, no real acting required, a minor role in a film that would never be screened. Betty rolls off the bed, turns off the camera, then takes the reel of film and rushes out the door. Complete non sequitur, but should I do some learning of how to play Turbo Toilet? Last time I played it was so bad at the start that I lost all my good cards and never recovered any. I don't know. Again, I don't remember how hard it used to be. In my mind, Triple Triad was pretty okay and easy. I forgot completely about how Triple Triad was on 8. I played a lot of it whenever I was playing Final Fantasy 14. Also, I played a lot on Final Fantasy 10. Yeah, I always loved Triple Triad, but it was pretty simple. I don't think there's no. I think there's some. Maybe there's some gimmick when it comes to Final Fantasy 8, but I don't particularly know. I recommend you maybe you googling some of that and see if there's any beforehand like knowledge that you should acquire. The cemetery is empty. Because again, the only thing that I know about the story is like full like gameplay of Final Fantasy VIII, but all the gameplay that I watched from Final Fantasy VIII keep all the triple triad and all those things. People say maybe I was bad at it and I haven't played it since. Uh, if I remember the first time that you played triple triad, it's a tutorial. So the tutorial should be able to cover everything once you get to that part of the game. And like if you watch the tutorial and that's not good enough, then sure, I recommend you going online and see. Or maybe you can just do it right now. If you feel like you want to, by all means, go to YouTube and look at tutorial on Triple Triad Final Fantasy VIII. But again, I do feel like once you watch it on the actual game, the tutorial should be quite okay. The cemetery is empty. Those who rest here no longer need to care what is about to happen to the world. So, okay, maybe you should actually watch a video, because if I'm not mistaken, whenever you go to certain difficulties on the triple triad for Final Fantasy VIII, the NPCs, I'm pretty sure they start to cheat. So wins are a little harder, and you might need to find maybe a guide or something that helps you with it. Betty holds a delicate box with a clumsy ribbon tied tying a lopsided bow. This is for you, Jones. Whose card? Really? Oh, yeah, then yeah, that means yeah, that's probably tough. Yeah, maybe look it up online. But yeah, on Final Fantasy X, I don't remember losing anything, and for sure it does not happen on 12. Oh, sorry, 14. She places the box on the tombstone, and then, after a time, she shakes her head and opens it. It's our film. I finished it. But that isn't all. She pulls a blank film strip from her pocket, encased in transparent glass frame. It is bleached in the sunlight, rendering it totally unusable. I kept some from myself because I still don't know what I should be filming. If we meet again, I'll bring it to show you. But for now, the cold gravestone offers no response. He lies in speaking, unknowingly, waiting for the impending storm. I finally understand now. The world won't wait for me to say I'm ready before it begins. So I can't say in the past. So I can't stay in the past. I'll move forward, because that's the only choice. Storm countdown alarm echoes in the air as Betty gently wipes the tombstone. We meet again. She holds her stare at the engraved letters. The carved marks flowing like rippling waves, tracing the life of Jones like a river. And when I see you, Betty shakes the film strip in her hand. I promise it will be spectacular. The last film of the 1930s. That was such a great anecdote. I don't remember me flying through an anecdote quite like this in such a long time. And again, if this is one of like technically if you see it from this point of view, this anecdote is pretty simple. like there's nothing really remarkable to it. It's just a simple story about two survivors of the storm. But still, the way that it's being conveyed to us, the back and forth, the storytelling, the moving parts, such such probably one of my favorite anecdotes for sure. Because I haven't done that many so far. I feel like still like loses against N and Lee just because there was more thought behind it. But this is probably my second favorite anecdote, and for sure one of my favorite pieces of story that I've ever read on the verse. Like, congratulations for the ones that wrote this, and it just makes Betty such an amazing character in my eyes. Like, I'm so glad that I was able to witness this, because like, if I see Betty again, I will feel warmth towards her, and I'll keep like rooting for her. Just wait till do Eric and Alien T's anecdote. Nice. Again, one day I will be doing all of them. Still, it's probably gonna be far away. Um, I will be doing um Monday. On Monday, I'll be doing Recoletta's character story finally, and by Friday, Aleph will be already out. I think Aiden asked me if I would get Aleph Day 1. I'm not gonna get Aleph Day 1 because Aleph will come probably during Heaven Burns Red days. I will be probably just getting Aleph over on Friday whenever he comes up. So I'll get Aleph and do his character story. And the following week, I will start doing the Theft of the Remit Cup. Yes, really, this anecdote was great. I mean, so good. I'm still like processing the events because people said it was a very good anecdote beforehand. I was just not expecting it. And again, the storytelling was neat. I really hope they keep this up because, so I haven't done, Jimmy, welcome, thank you for coming. Hello buddy, how are you doing? Also check the Discord, it said many stuff. Oh, okay, I will be checking. Oh, where I was. But yeah, like, I hope, because one of my biggest fears about like this one event is actually Recoletta's character story, because the last character story for me was so boring. Again, Noir's character story, that I'm like, I hope that Recoletta's character story is better than Noir's. Nobody that came into the stream talked anything about Recoletta's character story. They talked about Betty's anecdote, but nobody mentioned Recoletta's character story. So I'm like, it's probably not gonna be one of the best, but nice. Thank you for coming then, Jimmy. Yes, I'm still live. I'm still gonna be probably for another hour. They turned Tooth Fairy into a triangle. The gameplay for it was fun though. Okay. If you're just talking about the gameplay, it still gives me a little unsureness. Okay, okay. Guys, Veneto needs to poll. Veneto come into the stream corner. We're gonna do your polls. We're gonna maybe watch this leftover things that Draggy sent me, and maybe then I'll call it actually for today a little earlier, because believe it or not, today this apple is gonna start. I said that I'm gonna stay for another hour. I lied. This apple needs to start looking for a job. Yep. And then I will update you guys about like the stream whenever the stream is gonna be. Because if I start working, then the stream is gonna have to change. Yes, believe it or not, this Apple is jobless, and I need to get a job eventually because things are kind of complicated. Someone needs to pay the lights. Okay, I'm opening. Give me a second. Okay, we're here. Watching this in 1080. Some characters are definitely niche. Everything about Recoleta is a love letter to Latin American literature. So your enjoyment is linked to your existing. So I will do a counter on you. My problem is not the character being niche. Bette is not it's a nothing. She is an actor. That's it. That's all about Bette. But they managed to make that story good. That's what I'm looking for Recoletas in anything when we reverse. I want it to be interesting and good, regardless of whatever the character is doing. You can literally be just an apple and make an interesting story for yourself if they want to make it so. But okay, so this is Project Sekai. It's a gacha game that Vernito's playing. Going strong at two. Really, the frames here are the yeah. But okay, Vernito's pulling for this banner here. You can go ahead, Veneto. It's not gonna be clear, but no problem. It is what it is. Damn. Yeah. I think this is getting close to pixel art at this point. Uh, Calling this image 1080 is talking shit to 1080. We'll crush them with our singing. Is that Hatsune Miku? I guess. For sure, that looks like her. Blame Discord. Brand new style, Shiho. Airi. Shiho again. Kohane. What game is this, Ernesto? Is this an idol game? Trupe. Okay, you got 2, 3 stars. Is that good? A way to go from like a very sad story to this. Yay, marbles! Also, there's fun stuff to check at the Aleph Twitch. I can check the comments. Sure. The rate stuff are the same as HBR. Oh, yikes, a min roll. Oh, yikes, a dupe. I can count the pixels. I can't. There's many of them. Actually, it's a lot of pixels. You can almost make a picture if you really try hard. Cool Sekai Miku. She looks cute. 1080, nah. 180. Yes, this is 180. Yo, this is. I cannot even read. It's not even giving me time. How to play section doesn't tell you how to play. What? Again, go to YouTube, Sandy. I really believe there's probably someone creating some content for Turbo Triad for that game. Oh no, I 100% believe that it looks fine on your end. Or even 37. Is that the Len? Yes, from Vocaloid. 50p. Soon enough, it's gonna be just one gigantic pixel. How many pools have you accumulated for this? Aha, this is so awesome. And they're free pools. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. How many free pools you accumulated? Okay, Veneto, you can start skipping the whole Hatsune Miku part because like we literally just see pixels. Probably these fools are worse than the stream quality. I highly doubt it. Just because we cannot really make up whatever you're getting. Like I am just like hoping that you can tell me if anything good. Anyway, I should probably go. I gotta get ready to graduate. Congratulations, Jimmy. I hope you had a great graduation. I expect pictures of animals. Why did I say that? Weird. Go crazy, drink a lot, kiss people or don't. That can be gross. Yeah, actually, people are gross. Don't kiss anyone. But yeah, have a good time, Jimmy. This is the first day of the rest of your life. Oh, 3 stars. Woo! Whatever they are. It's very hard for me to picture the little images. And ended. Yeah, it was not the best. It was really not the best. It was hard for me to actually understand whatever was happening on screen. But I appreciate you trying, Renato. You know that's what counts. I feel like we gotta kind of hone in, kind of like see first how the quality of everything is looking before we do this again, just because like it's gonna be a little complicated to even like understand what's going on. But without further ado, Draggy is filling me with a lot of things. Oh, maybe it's the world saying play the remaster, play the remaster. It's not too late, Sandy, for you to play the remaster. I'm still not old enough to drink. I'm going to Texas next year for college. Oh, it's not graduation from college. It's graduation for school. Congratulations still. What do you plan on doing for college? Let's hope the Discord won't be a bitch next time around. There was some absolutely hyperlink camera quality pulls, 100%. Uh, she never was religious. Naturally, the cricket wouldn't find a place in heaven or hell. So where, pray tell, was left for her to go? Why, there's only one possible answer, of course. My lord, she's a lack of composure. Who did this to you? And should I be jealous of them? Oh, she's so cool. If anybody is new here, Schneider was my favorite was my first favorite character. But and then she got reversed. That's a great picture, by the way. Computer science, cool. I actually went to computer science college. Was my first college that I did for a week, and then I quit. The pool says to play the original though. Then I guess you're gonna have to just settle. Was that Hoffman with hair? Yes. No bald. I like to draw my faves in the cursed ways possible. Oh, this is neat. Tooth Fairy, like you've never seen before. Seriously, is for you, kid. This is neat. Tooth Viper, kill it with fire. I don't think you can kill it with fire. It's very dangerous to walk barefoot around Cheddar glasses, Aleph. Okay. They look so cute together. Pen pal. We got period cramp Aleph merch before 3.0 news. It happens sometimes. We will be buying. True, 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 true. Truth game. Truth nuking. It is the truth. Remember when this major first came out and we were all transferring our cramps to him? Those were good times. But so every time I have a period cramp, I can transfer it to him and feel better. That's so evil. The women, stop. Have you seen 37? No. Have you seen Revenant? Okay, this is another game. That's a very good way to cover yourself from view. She has and is hiding her. Yes. Reverse Twitter is something else, isn't it? Anyways, now that that's over, I'm gonna go download the Heaven Burns Red update so I shall chill out here, enjoy the bufferings. Chill. And I hope you enjoyed the bufferings. But I'm gonna be ending soon. I'm just gonna be finishing this last part. And in with job searching. Yay! Who doesn't love job searching? Attention, this is notice from St. Pavlov's Foundation. This is Constantine speaking. To further notice, the words of our dear timekeeper are not to be trusted. If encouraged, flee the scene promptly. She's believed to be hostile. Do not harm our assets. And to see, no matter how many times we brave the storm, eventually the rain will raid it all. Ex- Inexperienced with our kind of might be, but we both know you can hold me back while you carry your umbrellas. So get out of my way. Can you imagine Vertin going full insane on people? I appreciate it. That would be cool. That's actually cool. A crazy Vertin. But yeah, guys, this
When the
was
sun rose,
the last
the
film.
beasts kept
And
silence.
some fun things and some pixel art
Then I heard a bird
polls,
flapping its wings.
and I am pretty happy. I
the
appreciate
first
you
in
all
the
for
forest.
coming. Thank you so much, Cashew, for the first time. I hope you enjoyed the channel. I hope I can see you again. I play this game and I play everything to do with Reverse. I don't play just the main story and some reveries. Everything that's up to the game, I dig in and I enjoy. Thank you so much, Dan, as always, for coming. Draggy, Verneto, Spartan, Sandy, No problem, Vernito. You know, I would suffer for you because we're here for each other. It was absolute cinema. It was absolute cinema. For sure, one of the biggest things I've watched on stream, reverse related. For sure. Thank you so much, guys. You guys made it even more interesting because we can have those
Are you
cool
also
conversations
listening
with
to the
each other.
wind dancing on the
But yes,
treetops?
see you all Monday for reverse, but tomorrow for Limbus Company. So if any of you are curious about what Limbus Company is, please be my guest because tomorrow we're gonna have a very good old time.
In the melancholy tropic, we kiss goodbye. You will find someone in your life.
And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to be kind to yourselves and to each other, and I see you all the next one. Archery is out. Roll the credits.